This is USNH Naples Hospital Hotspot with Lieutenants Kate Rooney and Kyle Brown. Brought to you from the atrium at US Naval Hospital, Naples, Italy.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Hospital Hotspot. Today is Monday, February 17th, 2014, and I'm Lieutenant Kate Rooney.
And I'm Lieutenant Kyle Brown. Happy President's Day to all of you. As a reminder, in observance of the holiday, our outpatient clinics and services are closed. Of course, the emergency department is available to handle any emergencies that might come up, and tomorrow we'll resume normal operations. Without further ado, Lieutenant Rooney has in the news.
Thank you, Lieutenant Brown. 2 weeks ago, the hospital conducted its biannual decontamination team training. A CBRNE expert from New Mexico was on board to train nearly 20 hospital staff in proper decontamination procedures in the event of a chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear attack. As a Tier 2 facility, USNH Naples is required to maintain a 60-member decontamination team and a portable decon unit. Students during this round of training were able to demonstrate proficiency in shelter setup and human decontamination, exceeding the established time benchmarks. CBRNE training is one part of maintaining a state of readiness at the command. As of April 1st, all TRICARE service centers within the 50 United States will no longer provide walk-in customer service at medical treatment facilities. What's the impact for those stationed overseas? Don't worry, all service centers located outside of the United States will not be affected by this change. Members can access a wide array of services at tricare.mil website. Overseas benefits advisors can also be contacted by telephone at country code 4420-8762-8384. Last week, the hospital held a retirement ceremony for Captain Jose Vincenz of the U.S. Navy Medical Corps. Many recognize Captain Vincenz as one of 2 OB/GYN physicians at the hospital, and his 26-year Navy career has been highlighted with many accomplishments and professional accolades. Captain Vincenz and his wife Maria will retire to Miami, Florida, where he will continue to practice obstetrics and gynecology. That's in the news. Here's Lieutenant Brown with On the Calendar.
Thank you, Lieutenant Rooney. February has long been recognized as Heart Health Month, and the hospital has sponsored multiple outreach programs, including a blood pressure screening that was held at the Nex this past Friday. Interested in learning more about your risk for heart disease? Visit www.millionhearts.hhs.gov for more information on risk factors and prevention. You can even calculate your risk of suffering from a heart attack. Still looking for a unique way to pursue a healthier you? Why not try the Cruise into Shape program, a 4-week team wellness challenge that is sponsored by the Navy and Marine Corps Public Health Center. We're currently looking for teams of 2 to 10 persons to participate between March 2nd and the 29th. If you are interested in learning more, please contact our Health Promotions Department at DSN 629-6445 or at Naples Health Promotion at med.navy.mil. The hospital will host a Black History Month celebration on Thursday, February 27th. The event, which is hosted by our Multicultural Committee, will be held in the atrium and feature several guest artists. For more information, keep your eyes tuned to our Facebook page. At the center of heart health is a well-balanced diet that is low in fat and cholesterol. And nobody knows that more than Lieutenant Stephanie Clapper, our nutritionist and registered dietitian here at USNH Naples. She's standing by here in the atrium with Lieutenant Rooney for a little healthy foods quiz. Lieutenant Rooney?
That's right, Lieutenant Brown. I'm joined this morning by Lieutenant Stephanie Clapper, our dietitian here at USNH Naples. She's here to talk to us about healthy food choices in celebration of February being Heart Health Month. So to get things started, we're going to play a little bit of a game, I understand.
That's
You're
right.
going to give me some food choices, and I'm going to try to pick which one's better, and then you can explain why I picked the wrong one.
Hopefully not. Maybe you'll get the right one.
All right. Well, let's get started with that then.
All right, sounds good. So talking about heart health, a lot of times we think of, fats in our diet. So we're gonna start with everybody's favorite fat, bacon, all right? And favorite breakfast food, right? So if you had to pick, looking at bacon, a lot of times we think turkey bacon's a better option. But what if we threw in another option like Canadian bacon? What do you think?
That's a tricky one, because I want to say turkey bacon, but I feel like this might be a trick question.
No,
I'm going to go with the turkey bacon.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So actually, it's Canadian bacon. And the reason being, although Canadian bacon does come from a pork, but it is a healthier cut. So less of that saturated fat.
My husband's going to be excited about this one. So I try to push the turkey bacon.
A little bit leaner of an option.
Nice.
So that's another one you can use. And they do sell it here at the commissary, so it's an option.
Perfect.
All right, so what about if we're looking at like ground beef, okay? A lot of times we think we have to eat ground turkey, only ground turkey. But, what if that's not an option? So we're looking at the commissary trying to find a good option to choose, something a little bit healthier. If you had to pick, you had like an 80% ground beef or a 90% ground beef, what would you go with?
I think that the percentage has to do with how much fat and how much meat. So I'm going to go with the higher percentage because I think that's more meat and less fat.
You are exactly
Perfect.
right. So the closer you can get to 100, the better off you are. Now, if you do want to use something like turkey, ground turkey, they do sell ground turkey. Make sure it is the lean stuff, though. You still want to look for a higher number with that. You can always mix them, too, because sometimes that ground turkey can get a little dry. Mix it with your ground beef, and you'll still have a good option.
That's a great idea.
All right.
I know we have a hard time at my house doing 100%
Yep.
ground turkey or anything all turkey. There's lots of complaints from the cook and the eaters.
Sounds good. All right. Now, who cannot talk about cheese, right? Everyone's favorite food group,
My
right?
favorite food, for sure.
So if you want to talk about cheese, let's see. If you had to pick what would be a leaner cheese, I know that sounds funny, but if you had to go with a cheddar cheese or a farmer's cheese, what would you pick?
I'm going to go with farmer's cheese on this one. I actually love farmer's cheese.
All
It's
right.
very texturally similar, and I really like it. So we'll go with the farmer's cheese.
You are exactly right. And that's the good thing. It is texturally similar, so it is a good option.
Great.
All right, so still talking about cheese, if we had to pick between something like a ricotta cheese and cottage cheese, what would you go with?
I never thought about cottage cheese, but now that you mention it, it also is very moist, like ricotta cheese is, so it seems like it'd be really good in lasagna or some of those dishes. Is that?
Yeah,
That's right?
Can be
Okay.
a good option. You have to make sure whether you're picking ricotta or cottage cheese, you still want to go with a low-fat option. And they do often have those options available, so check that out.
Great.
Sound good?
Sounds really good.
Now, we're talking about all this reduction in fat. You want to make sure if you're going with a fat-free or a low-fat option, keep in mind some of those fat-free items, they are going to replace the fat with something else to make it taste good. That's oftentimes sugar. So just be aware of that when you're selecting fat-free items. All right. So, here in Italy, we get to eat out quite a bit, some wonderful restaurants. So we'll kind of talk about a few tips for heart health eating while you're eating out. Now, fortunately, we're in a great country where olive oil is on everything. And this is a great heart healthy fat to use. Also, if you're out, getting pizza, keep in mind, you can always look for pizzas that have more veggies on top versus the meats and cheeses. And that's a good option and a sneaky way to increase a few more veggies in your diet. And when we're looking at salads, think about for salad dressings, again, you can go with a low-fat option, but we have delicious balsamic vinegars here and olive oils.
Those are my favorite salad dressings.
Excellent.
So I've got one on that.
Awesome.
Well, this has certainly been fun. I think I learned a few things, got a couple right, got a couple wrong. But it was very informative. So thank you for joining us this morning in honor of Heart Healthy Month. Lieutenant Brown, back to you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Rooney and Lieutenant Clapper, for joining us this morning. That's all for us on this week's Hospital Hotspot. Be sure to tune in to our next episode on March 3rd, when we'll bring you some of the latest recommendations on wellness and preventative care. Until then, for USNH Naples Public Affairs Office, I'm Lieutenant Kyle Brown, and we'll continue to lead the change to better health.